Let's talk about the Japanese encephalitis virus. It's totally different kind of family of virus that we are going to talk now, also known as JE virus, Japanese encephalitis virus. So what is Japanese encephalitis virus? What is the structure of Japanese encephalitis virus? What is the life cycle of Japanese encephalitis virus? Let's look at all this. The basic information about this virus is that this is a kind of infection by this Japanese encephalitis virus that is found in Asia and the West Pacific, that can cause brain swelling. So it's linked with the brain swelling. Although most of the time this viral infection is not that deadly, not that serious, and it's mild, but in extreme cases it can cause brain swelling and death of the brain cells and can kill a person. Japanese encephalitis is a virus spread by the bite of infected mosquito. It's more common in rural and agricultural areas, of the world. So how does it look like? So Japanese encephalitis virus, as I told you, it has a spheroid having a cubical symmetry. That means this. The virus itself is a spheroid, so spherical, but it has a cuboidal symmetry. This is how it looks like. So kind of lipid envelope outside, and inside it has nucleocapsid. The nucleocapsid, it has nucleic acid in the center, and there is a protein capsid protecting the nucleic acid. And there is also virion associated polymerase along with the nucleic acid inside of the icosahedral capsid. So this is a virus which is resourceful. It contains genetic material, it contains its polymerase, and it also has envelope. What is the size? Small size, 40 to 50 nanometer in diameter. The genetic material is a plus-stranded, single-stranded RNA as a genetic material. What kind of disease this Japanese encephalitis virus cause? Less than 1% of the people infected with Japanese encephalitis virus will develop clinical illness. Less than 1% who are infected will have this illness. Most cases are mild. Rarely it causes serious brain swelling with a sudden headache, fever and disorientation. What is the incubation period of Japanese encephalitis virus? In person who develop the symptoms, the incubation period goes typically from 5 days to 15 days. What is the mode of transmission? Japanese encephalitis virus transmitted to humans through the bite of infected Culex species mosquito. We know there are different kinds of mosquito species, Anopheles, Aedes, Culex. So Culex is the mosquito that is linked to be a medium between the different hosts, because Japanese encephalitis virus have multiple hosts. Human are only one kind of host, and the mosquito is a medium or a vector that can transfer this virus from one host to the other host, one healthy host to another, one infected host to the healthy host. The virus is maintained in a cycle between mosquitoes and vertebrate hosts, primarily pigs and wading birds. So we'll see that how exactly this juggling between different hosts happens and modulated by this virus. Let's look at the scientific classification here. The family is Flaviviridae, the genus is Flavivirus, and the species is Japanese encephalitis virus. This is the scientific classification. It belongs to the Flaviviridae family and the genus Flavivirus. Let's look at the life cycle. But before going into the details of life cycle of the virus and how it how it infects the host cell and grows inside the host cell, we will also see exactly how they maintain the host and reservoir structure. So this is how it looks like. In the right hand side, we will see that at the very beginning, this is the Japanese encephalitis virus life cycle, where we have mosquito at the center as a vector, and that connects different hosts, that connects man with birds, man with swine. So this mosquito can go there. So this is a state where dead end, man is acting as a dead end of the host. From man, it will not go to any other host directly. So man is a dead end host. So a man cannot infect another different barrier. It cannot jump a different barrier from there. So the starting reintroduction, so amplifying host here is the swine and birds. So this is where this particular virus amplify and grow in number, and once they grow in number, mosquito bite them, and this virus now attached to the mosquito. The mosquito once bite the human, the infected mosquito bites the human. In that case, it will transfer the virus, flavivirus, from the pig or bird into this man. Okay, this is how it works. And generally the birds means migratory birds, bats, and wind blown mosquitoes are the one who are acting as a reintroduction agents there. Okay, so this is how it's maintaining the host reservoir, because it's very important for any virus to maintain the host reservoir. Now let's look at the flavivirus life cycle. I'm not talking about only specific about this Japanese encephalitis virus, but I'm talking about the whole flavivirus as a whole, of how exactly they grow and multiply inside the host cell. So the flavivirus starts point here. The flavivirus interacts with the host cell receptor, and then engulfment, okay, viral fusion and engulfment. And after the engulfment, there is disassembly of the viral genome, that is RNA genome plus stranded RNA genome from the endosome. And once the RNA is out, then then this RNA is used to make proteins. Okay, the protein translation will be done utilizing this RNA. They will make proteins, and they will make polyprotein processing in the membranes. And also the viral RNA start replicating into more and more copies so that they can package their own genetic material. This is the viral RNA that it making copies of. So replication of the RNA and also translation of the RNA to make necessary proteins. So once necessary proteins are prepared, the proteins are again inserted inside the endoplasmic reticulum membrane. And then once they make the viral genome, the viral genome will be packaged inside of it, and then they are packed together. And a vesicle will bulge out of the endoplasmic reticulum that will carry the genetic material of this flavivirus along with the different component of membrane protein and different surface receptor proteins. And then this vesicle will migrate from ER to Golgi, and via the trans-Golgi network, TGN, ultimately it fuses with that, and now ultimately it reaches the cell membrane. And at this moment the virus will reach the final maturation stage, where the virus releases an enzyme that is furin, and the furin start the cleavage process. And at this moment this virus will take a part of this host membrane, you can clearly see that, and take it out. So at this moment they will bulge out from this place, and also with the help of some reagent that they will degrade this membrane, and the viral particle will come out. Okay, this is how it happens. The viral particle comes out by destroying or cleaving the membrane, because this virus is well packed from the endoplasmic reticulum itself, and you can clearly see how exactly the acid balance is maintained. Primarily endosome acid content is 6 pH, but in ER lumen the pH was 7.2. Slowly the pH is decreasing from this cis-Golgi network 6.7 to trans-Golgi network again 6. And at this moment, at the end, finally the vesicle filled with the flavivirus near maturation has the pH of 5.7. Then it will start doing the cleavage of the membrane and take the components out, take the viral particle out. So this is how the viral replication is done. The flavivirus life cycle is accomplished. Okay, and it has a series of pH variants of how exactly they will modify itself, and they'll move from the start point of the infection, from the start point of entry to the host cell to the exit out of the host cell. So that's the overall idea about the Japanese encephalitis virus and Japanese encephalitis virus life cycle. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to this channel to get more videos like that in future. Thank you. Bye.